Hey, what's up guys? Shiki, welcome back to more Kagetsu Tohya. Last time we did Good Luck CL Sensei, and that was fun. CL, even in a side story with her name on it, she still loses to Arkwid. It's rough. But anyway, today I'm gonna be doing a story for the evening, which is supposed to center around what happens to Shiki at the end of Akiha's good end. So I'm excited for that. Hey Meridak. Let's see. First, let's do this Type Moon message. I'm not fat, and that's it. Okay. Good for you, Kohaku. Good for you. All right, let's find out what the hell happened to our boy in Akiha's route. No, it does not. Wait, what? Wait, I thought that, or was that Crimson Moon then? Or is it just... Wait, what? I'm confused. Did I get the wrong one? Okay, apparently it doesn't center on that. I don't know then. It's post Akiha route. So it it just hints at what happened. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Oh. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, it seems I was mistaken. That sucks. So I'll even take a hint, because I just want to know what happened. Hint, center, well, whatever. Still, we'll still get a general idea at least. My hair clings to my back. Perhaps I've just grown used to this waiting, but lately I often find myself feeling down because my mind is filled with dark anxiety. I cannot even manage any wishful thinking. Oh, that's sad. Something whispers to me that I long ago lost the person I wait for, and that this warmth that lingers in my breast is just an illusion. Well, in that case, I might as well take this burdensome hair and cut it all off. Okay, so I'm assuming this is Akiha. She's been like waiting for Shiki, and now she's like, "Oh fuck, I'm just gonna cut this hair off." Okay. The way things are now, I think that might not be a bad idea after all. Maybe. A story for the evening. That's a nice little title. In the beginning. And so I returned to the school dormitory. January 8th. The first 3 days of the new year passed in a dull haze, and then 5 more days until this day, the day of the dormitory opening, finally arrived. I am not fond of these first and last days of the changing calendar. It seems like not just the temperature, but the calendar too is frozen solid, as if the march of time has slowed to a snail's pace. To my impatient self, this dullness affects my temper. Everything affects your temper, though. One gloomy sigh. The winter break that felt longer than the entire summer vacation still has 2 days remaining. Ignoring Kohaku's vocal and Hisui's wordless... Oh, I see. Vocal and wordless suggestions to remain on the estate until the opening ceremonies, I returned here to the dormitory as soon as I could. One reason was truly unlike me. The person who should have returned did not come back. It wasn't that idle time was painful, but rather that I grew to hate myself for becoming used to that idleness. and thus ran away to this place where the person I wait for could not be expected to appear. Yeah, no, sitting around the mansion with the vain hope of Shiki returning would be kind of depressing, I suppose. How truly unlike myself. Walking down the moderately new but still old-fashioned hallway. Asagami Private Girls Academy has counted 50 years since its founding, and this dormitory has counted about as many. The many school buildings were renovated years ago to give the appropriate outward appearance for a noted boarding school, but this dormitory as yet maintains the same wooden construction that it had 50 years before. Music is loud? Okay. Let me just turn this down. Testing. Is it good now? Do I need to turn it up more? I turned it down about 1.8 decibels, so I don't know if that's good enough. Testing. School buildings were renovated years ago. We good? No? Fine. Had 50 years before, although that too was truly only until last year, and now the reconstruction of this dormitory proceeds bit by bit. A bit better? Alright, let me try just one more tick down. Okay. During this winter break, the dormitory started being rebuilt from the first floor up. By summer, reconstruction will be complete, and I suppose that will be farewell to the old building. Asagami Girls Academy generally requires its students to live in the dormitories, so most of the student body has lived here. Surrounding the dormitory is a grove of trees. Because that grove is basically a high encircling wall, there are only 2 gates of any size to allow passage from the grounds to the outside. Engraved on the main gate is the phrase, "Abandon all youth, ye who enter here." A phrase which I think I have heard something similar to before. Yeah, abandon all hope. The truth of that phrase is made obvious by the end of the second day in the dormitory. What, do you all turn old? The staff, who are never seen to crack a single joke, may seem quite capricious at times, but of course that graffiti was carved by some graduate. Yeah. After exchanging greetings with a number of other students in the halls, I arrived at my room. Student council and student government members with tasks start working today, so there are students scattered throughout the building. Additionally, there are no small number of students for whom being at home is unpleasant, and who have fled to school. Because of that, I thought my roommates would have returned already, but Soka and Hanapin's bags are missing. So the 2 of them haven't come back yet. Hanapin hates going home, and was boasting that she would spend the entire break hiding out in the dormitory. But since I don't see her, I guess that means she was found and forcibly sent back. I pulled myself together, because I'm skilled at getting along by myself. Right. The sunlight streaming from the window dimmed, as if the room was within a deep gray cloud. Even so, it wasn't dark enough to need the lights on, and to my present self, this faint light was quite comfortable. Walking to the window, I reached out and placed my bag on my desk. There was nothing else on my desk. Pretty obvious, since I cleaned everything before the break. My desktop was as flat and smooth as a freshly made pudding. An envelope. Or so it should have been, but there was an obstacle sitting there. An envelope, purple in color with no address or anything else written on it. With no address, it shouldn't have been delivered. With no return address, it should have been non-returnable as well. But that letter was sitting there on my desk. Gray twilight. A purple envelope placed in an unoccupied room. This is a mystery, is it not? Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. took that purple envelope in my hand. Inside was one sheet of white paper. What was written there I already knew. My only wish. I would have put it into words, but instead it has not even a single letter written on it, just a cowardly blank sheet of white paper. In other words, this is the outcome of a little ritual undertaken on a whim right before winter break. Of course, the person who performed this ritual was me. Thus, this envelope was one that I myself, Tono Akiha, had sent without addressee or address. Originally, this should have definitely never been returned. An utterly meaningless letter. But then, how did it get here? Because if you did it before... Okay. The 9th of January dawned. Because classes resume tomorrow, the dormitory has begun to bustle with the figures of returning students. And particularly hurried amongst those students is... Huh? I don't know what voice to give her. Oh wait, she's the girl in the, when the lunatic messages pop up. Okay. Akiha-chan, have you seen my tools? I dropped them over by your stuff right before the break. This person, Misawa Hane, nicknamed Hanapin, just now returned to our room. Hane, when you say your tools, are you perhaps referring to that purse in which you store scissors and solder? Or solder? Yeah, that's it. They're my precious tools, so I thought I had left them with you, but I guess I took them with me after all. Volume's much better now, okay. That's good. I should clarify here. Hanapin is not currently suffering from lack of sleep, nor does she possess any particular wakefulness. Okay. This girl is from first to last like this, okay. It is as if her brain produces nothing but alpha waves, giving her an ability to enjoy life that is enviable. Good for her. I see. If you hurry, you may be in time. All the garbage from the break is going to be incinerated, so with luck, you may find it before then. What? I don't understand, but Akiha-chan, I think you just said something scary. A little bit. Not really. Uh-huh. It is simply that if I saw some unfamiliar bag atop what should have been my neat and tidy desk, I would have thrown it in the trash. Wow, that really is scary. Seemingly unhurried at all, Hanapin tilted her head. Then right now my bag should be in the incinerator? If your luck is good. Should it be poor, would it not already be rising to the heavens? Wow! Akiha-chan, you've gotten even meaner since you got back. Well, yeah, her brother's kinda gone, so... I know. You got dumped when you went home, didn't you? Not quite. Yes, that's exactly right. However, Hane, is this alright? If you leave now, you still may be able to make it in time. It's a waste, but that's alright. During the break, I bought myself some new tools, so that 4th generation can rest in peace. Okay. I mean, if you won't miss it, that's good, I guess. Relatively quickly surrendering, Hanapin returned to sorting out her baggage. Okay. Hane, I think you already know this, but do not place your belongings in my space or Soka's. Yeah, I know. Hanapin responded, even as she started to lay out her clothing on Soka's bed. Yeah, she doesn't know. As to why she'd put her bag on my desk anyway. It's because her desk always looks like this. Yeah, a mess. Doing her homework on it at night is one thing, as is sitting before my desk and sighing, "Akiha-chan's desk is so nice and clean." But sometimes she simply uses it as a place to drop her stuff. Yeah. If some strange bag is dropped on my desk, then obviously it would be thrown in the garbage. Okay, so if this is a common occurrence for your roommate, right? Why would you not just, I don't know, throw it on her bed for her to find? Like, why would you throw it away? That seems a bit rude. Like, I get you're trying to send a message and get it through her head, like, hey, don't put your stuff on my desk. But I don't know, I feel like you could at least do her a solid and just toss it on her bed somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though. Asagami Girls Academy is a famous school with a long and proper history. School regulations are very strict, and that strictness is unchanged here in the dormitory. First off, curfew is very strictly enforced. Those with club activities must return before 6 p.m. Those without must return by 5 p.m. At 6:30 p.m., all residents line up in the hallway and proceed in order to the dining room, where private conversation is prohibited during the meal. Shouldn't schools be encouraging, like, conversation and, you know, socializing? Okay. When the meal is over, each grade is allowed a period to use the baths, and the friends room opens? The what? The friends room is a large public room that the students may use freely, and they frequently go here for after-dinner tea and conversation. Since this dormitory is one in which private luxuries are forbidden, the only place that one may enjoy tea is the friends room. The friends room is managed by a member of the school staff, and upon request, she'll provide tea or desserts. Okay. There are no restrictions on the number one may request, nor is there any charge. But with all the surrounding eyes, it's not a place one can feel at home. That's kind of fucked up. Nope, obedience and discipline apparently. Damn. Like, I guess I understand, right? In a sense, because it's a rich girl school, so like they would want the next CEOs or COOs or just high up in the companies to be disciplined, but like you also have to be personable to a degree. So it's like, I don't know. Those who use the friends room are mostly the middle schoolers and those first years who have only recently risen from middle school. The second and third years, who are used to the dormitory lifestyle, have usually figured out a number of ways to sneak tea and snacks into individual rooms for private tea parties. Okay. In the dormitory, naturally, various groups tend to form, and once a week, the head of each group gathers for a special tea. Okay, why does that sound ominous? Of course, these groups do not get along, so the school culture changes depending on how much influence is wielded in those meetings. Okay. And thus, because I'm a member of the student council, I have little influence in the dormitory. That the school belongs to the student council and the dormitory to the student government has long been tradition of the Asagami Academy. In these ways, everyone passes 3 hours of free time before retiring for the evening. If studying, then room lights may remain lit until 11 p.m., but there are few students who take this rule at face value. Yeah, they'll have their books out to, make sure any checks will think they're studying, but in reality, they're actually, just chatting or doing what have you. dormitory rooms are assigned at 3 people to 1 room. There are special exceptions to these assignments, and the highest ranking students, the group leaders, have single rooms. Those so chosen are thought to have special privileges, and this is one way to show them in this small world of the school. Last year, for only a few weeks, I transferred to another school. Yeah. Unlike the Asagami Girls' Academy, that school was not another academy sealed away from the outside world, but instead a typical public school. That unled, unordered, and muddled atmosphere was not something I liked, but neither did I dislike it. Compared to that school, Asagami's unusual, no, anachronistic status was made plain to me, and because of that I had largely lost interest in the influence battles within the dormitory. Oh yes, this may be a digression, but a cafeteria where students may decide what to consume, or a vending machine where one may acquire a drink at any time are absent from Asagami. Those things may be convenient, but their lack is no particular inconvenience. Sure, I guess. Perhaps I too am an anachronism. After all, I am fond of this environment. I could never. I would actually probably lose my mind. Like the whole, okay, so like only being able to eat and drink, at specified times, or at least special. I assume they can have water whenever, but like tea and whatnot, right? That wouldn't be so bad, in my opinion. But like the whole like bureaucracy shit within like dormitory and everything being so like uptight, I don't know, I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. Having finished my work for the student council, I returned to my room to see that my roommates had finished unloading their baggage. I'm back. I see you have returned as well, Soka. What is this fucker? The guy that we saw one singular time in the main story. Who just like yanked fucking Akira away. I thought you were a dude. To be honest. But okay, yeah, no, I don't know, when this person was introduced, I thought it was yeah, I don't know. When we met this, yeah. When we met them in the main story, right? I thought they were a guy, but I guess this makes sense. I suppose. Because yeah, why else would they know Akira, right? I don't know. But then at the same time, why were they in? Whatever. Yeah, I got back an hour ago. The moment I returned and saw what a mess Hane had made of the room, I grew depressed. You look depressed, Soka said in a deep, uninflected voice. Okay. Tsukihime Soka. Just as she seems, she is a girl who competes for first or second most unique among the students, and also my roommate. Born and raised in a household even stricter than my own, her reaction to that environment has led her tastes into a number of unique categories. Right. That the daughter of the effective lord of her prefecture, a daughter of a house of samurai, a daughter raised from that bloodline should wear such clothing makes the severity of her rebellious spirit easy to imagine. A house of samurai, okay. Yeah. By those clothes, you've returned from a concert. You are getting rid of the stress you accumulated at home. How do I do a deep, uninflected girl's voice? That's right. But that place I wandered into was terrible. Now I'm even more stressed. It's not as if Western style is the true way or anything, but they should at least be able to tell the difference between rock and other categories of music. It's a pun on saying I see oh, huh, okay. Right. Is that like a meme that sprouted in the community when Tsukihime originally released? Like, I don't... Like, I get that Soka means I see, right? But I'm just... I don't know, okay. I don't know, just... I don't know, alright. Between rock and other categories of music. Soka gave another gloomy sigh. At this point, I don't think I should have to explain, but this girl is just as much a rocker as she looks. There seems to be these punk and heavy metal categories, but I do not know those sorts of details. I think it was more of an in-joke for Nasu and his colleagues on a show. Okay. Yeah, there's probably a story there, I don't know. In the first place, back from a concert? I may have asked myself, but in reality, I have never seen such a concert myself. Yeah, you probably only go to, like, classical music stuff, like orchestras. For me to speak about music at all is rather presumptuous. So it seems like both of us are depressed then. Yeah, but the causes of mine are not as deep as yours. I can lick my wounds and be healed. But Tono, your wounds won't heal no matter how long you lick them. Casually, Soka commented about a rather sore spot. Why do you know about... Or I assume you know about it. I guess so. I answered in a similar light tone and crossed the room. Sitting in my own seat, I pulled out a roll of surgical tape. Then I began to cover the cuts in my fingers one by one. Why are your fingers cut? 1, 2, 3, 4. At this rate, tomorrow I'll need to get a new roll from the clinic. Then, are the two of you finished unpacking? Soka, you never have much baggage, but Hane, you usually have a mountain to unpack. Foo-foo-foo. That's right, but everything's done. Everyone's done. Instead of the heartless Akiha-chan, So-chan helped me, and in this short time it's all tidy. Well, that's good for you. Heh, triumphantly posed Hanapin. Heh, Soka, you're so nice. Even though you had only just returned, you're already looking out for Hane. I could not do that. Yeah, that's true. No matter how she tries to cry to get her way, I don't give in. That's probably the reason I'm said to have the second coldest heart in the dorm. Who's first? Is that so? But if So-chan's the second coldest, that means Akiha-chan has the hardest heart? Hold it, Hane. Don't be so rude. Among the underclassmen, I'm known as a helpful senpai. The ones I have no sympathy for are those like you and Soka. Oh, okay, but you seem to be on good terms with them. See, right there. Right there, meaning what, Soka? Oh, wait, that was Soka, not... Okay. Meaning what, Soka? That's why you're the only one in this entire dorm who can ignore Hane. Tono, if someone has faults, then even to a child you show no mercy. Soka made a shocked face as she declared that no mercy line. She may have been rude to say it, but it is the absolute truth, so there's really nothing I can say in return. Yeah, they kinda got you there. The middle schoolers like to say that the ghost of the Seven Mysteries isn't as scary as Tono-senpai. Probably not wrong. At this rate, by the time you're a senior, they'll be using your name as a charm against demons. Kukuku, went Soka, a very masculine chuckle. Is that so? Using me as a charm would probably backfire, however. Cutting short this conversation, this time I pulled a compress out of my desk. At times like this, Soka may be trying to clear up my depression, but just talking with her is a fruitless effort. That reminds me, I had something to tell you when I saw you, Akiha-chan. Went Honeypeen as she worried over some thought. However, she's doing it again. Hane's forgetfulness is nothing new, so if you pay attention to her, you'll be waiting till the sun's risen. Soka said quite truthfully, well, otherwise ignoring Hane. I think it'd be a very appropriate charm. Yeah, I can see it either way. Either they would, either the demons would fear Akiha, or because she's one of them, they would be attracted to her. I don't know. Could really go either way. Soka said quite truthfully, will otherwise ignoring Hane. I was busy with treating my cuts, so when she's calmed down a bit, I might listen to Hane. By the way, Tono, what have you been doing? You can't tell from looking. I've been treating my wounds. I can see that. What I'm asking is where you got those cuts. Does this mean another battle in the dorm's pecking order is coming to a head? Soka looked relatively serious. I guess to her, the Tono Akiha that quarrels with the upperclassmen is thus one involved in deeds of daring and cruelty. Of course not. You are utterly wrong, Soka. If they had that sort of courage to begin with, then during the elections I would have seized control of the student council. Oh. That's the truth. With a chuckle, Soka withdrew her guess. Why would the upperclassmen acting like bitches? Wow, okay. Why would the upperclassmen acting like bitches help Akiha-chan? Normally, wouldn't it hurt to get into a fight? Yeah, normally. But Hane, is Tono normal? She's not very open, but she's a good girl, you know. Is she? Okay, yeah, sure. If you think that, you know, good for you. For a moment, both Soka and I stopped breathing. When people in this dorm say Hanepin has no equals, this is exactly what they mean. In the dorm's power struggles, Soka and I are amongst the strongest. However, when faced with Hanepin, even the strong lose all malice. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. But you know, Tono is more hot-tempered than most people, right? That's why if someone else picks a fight with her, she'll beat them to a pulp. Understand? Oh, I get it. Akiha-chan won't stop until she's satisfied, even if her victim is begging. Yeah. See? But Tono isn't foolish enough to start fights herself. She isn't afraid of rough politics, but should it come to that, she's got to keep the conflict underground. This gives a semblance of peace, but the facts are so muddled that figuring out the real situation is a pain. It'd take too much time, and until some sort of peace treaty could be reached, there's neither a victor nor a loser, which makes the hierarchy too difficult to understand. Right. That's the reason that although Tono would have won... this is all still... Okay. Whatever. Although Tono would have won, she's not the student council president. Yeah. Akiha-chan's the vice president, right? Right. Tono's been opposing the high schoolers ever since middle school. And that was all just to tempt them into coming after her after she entered high school. She expected the upperclassmen to try to use force to pin her down as soon as she entered, but they turned out to be nothing but cowards and all talk. In the end, though, all they did was complain about her, so she could only run for vice president rather than president. Oh. Why's that? If the upperclassmen weren't going to stop her, why didn't she run for president? That's because until they did something, she couldn't force that much of a transition of power. A power struggle is a savage but easy to understand relationship. Using straight conflict rather than propaganda and innuendo to snatch control would result in fewer future problems. That's what Tono was trying for, but the upperclassmen just kept dancing around to fight, and even now keep up the backbiting. Right? Asked Soka's eyes as she glanced at me. Yeah, I could, I don't know. I don't know. Annoying. When she says it that way, it makes me sound like the most malicious one of all. Aren't you, though? All she said was true, though, so I can't object. So I gave all my attention to treating my wounds. So I pulled up my uniform and began to deal with my throbbing hip. I could feel Soka's shocked stare. So even hell freezes over, huh? Well, it doesn't bother me, but don't go around showing those sort of wounds in front of the upperclassmen. If you destroy their image of the invincible Tono-senpai, the next year you'll have no power in the student council, and it'll all be your own, or underclassmen, it'll all be your own fault. Soka shrugged and turned a highly exaggerated, shocked look towards me. How heartless, Soka. You can see from this red skin that your roommate is suffering, and yet you act like you don't care. Are you not even concerned over how I received such injuries? Crossing my arms, I glared at her. Soka quickly responded, No. Fair enough. This time in her normal tone of voice. If it were someone else, then I might be concerned, but for you and Hane, it'd be pointless. Me, I'm more worried about the person that hurt you. I'm just asking as a friend here. But you didn't kill them, did you? Hold it, Soka. How can you say that with such a serious look on your face? Well, I mean... How rude. I would never do something so uncivilized. There wasn't even anyone to retaliate against. I received this bruise when I tripped, that's all. Right. Soka gave an inaudible what? And a truly surprised look, as if she'd seen a ghost. Yeah, they can't imagine Akiha being clumsy enough to trip, I guess. Which is fair. About these middle schoolers who supposedly speak of the invincible Tono-senpai. Perhaps the one that believes that the most is Soka herself? Possibly. Is that true? Akiha-chan, are you alright? Suddenly, Hanepin hugged me. Oh, she's too good. Ah, jeesh. If I were not alright, then I would be in the school clinic right now, wouldn't I? My hip hurts, so please don't cling to me like that. Tug as I tried to pull her off me. Whined an unhappy Honeybean. I think I got somehow I just like got dirt in my eye or something. Ow. It started blurring up. Alright. Soka gave a lazy laugh and just watched as I held a hand to my hip and tried to ignore the pain. Well, I do feel somewhat better. Surrounded by roommates like these, even if only for a moment, I can forget about that darkness in my heart. I wonder if that may have been exactly what I was hoping for when I chose to return early. Possible. Very much possible. A faint wind drifted in through the open window. The cold outside air of January quickly cooled my flushed skin. That thin film of water that then condensed upon my still warm skin felt pleasant. But my roommates did nothing but complain, "It's cold, it's cold." Yeah. After dinner. After returning to our room from the common bath, I began to towel off my still damp hair. "Excuse me, is Tono-san here?" Thump thump, someone knocked on the door. I didn't respond, but rather continued to stare out the window into the cold wind and dark of night. "She's here. She's spacing out, but if that's alright, then come in." Oh, that was Soka. I guessed it was Hane, but... Oh. Soka responded for me. The sound of the door opening. "Excuse me." Tamaki's familiar voice. Tamaki? Ah, it's Tamaki-chan. What, did you bring me some candy? Yay, Hanapi's excited voice. Sorry, door manager. Please just ignore that little joke. Anyways, since your target is like that, I don't suppose she'll be helpful. Soka's disinterested voice. Unconsciously excluding the speaker from my sight, I played with my hair and stared at the night. Was Tono-san always like this? Recently, yeah. It gets worse day by day, but tonight seems especially bad. Almost as if she were a girl in love, right? That's true. Tono-san didn't seem to be the type to stare out the window in any way. Rather, doing that sort of thing seems like an ill omen. Tamaki, I can hear you, you know. Without moving my gaze, I spoke. Ah, she's conscious! In that case, let me get to what brought me here. Tono-san, there's a Shijo-san in your class, right? That girl has been emotionally unstable ever since she came back. Well, Akiha is also emotionally unstable right now, so, you know, buzz off. Her roommate's been complaining that ever since yesterday she's been acting strange. Wait a second. Shijo? Is she? No, Shijo isn't the girl from Garden of Sinners, right? No. No, okay. I didn't think so, but you know, the one from the because I can't talk. The two dormitories are this, like the school that what's her face and Karo no Kyokai went to, and this one are the same. I'm pretty sure. I think, right? Asagami Academy. Or not? maybe not. No. Oh no, okay, now Kara no Kyokai's academy is Rayan Girls Academy. I don't know. I just remembered an Asagami from Kara no Kyokai, so I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, no, that was, you know, Asagami and Kara no Kyokai was Fujina. Yeah. The dorms are under my jurisdiction, but the school side is yours, right? I know it'll be inconvenient, but would you please keep an eye on her there? That sort of business, huh? I sighed in my heart. Right now I have my hands full taking care of myself, but I cannot keep ignoring things now that I've returned to school. True. Although in the first place, the dormitory was left to Tamaki so that I could concentrate on the student council business. She and I were friends back in middle school and were in fact on the student council together there. When we entered high school, she chose the student government. In other words, to enter the dormitory hierarchy, and together, hand in hand, we would change the foolish customs of the school. I think I got the two academies like intertwined in my head because Akira goes to both, but they're two different timelines, so it's yeah. Or wait. I forget, is Kara no Kyokai and Tsukihime the same timeline? Or is it Tsukihime and Mihoyo that's the same timeline? I think it's Tsukihime and Mihoyo that's one timeline, and Fate and Kara no Kyokai are the other. I believe. She were friends back in middle school, and we were in fact on student council together there. When we entered high school, she chose the student government. In other words, to enter the dormitory hierarchy, and together, hand in hand, we would change the foolish customs of the school. The student council and the student government still don't get along, but Tamaki and I, at the top of each organization, cooperate in secret, so giving or receiving requests or advice like this is quite normal. I understand. I'll do it. Seat number 8, Shijo Tsukasa-san, right? I will keep an eye on her starting tomorrow. Akiha-chan, Tsukasa-chan's number 9, isn't she? I'm number 10 and she sits right in front of me, so she'd be number 9, right? For some reason, dropping her work to the desk, mine of course, Hanapin corrected me. Oh, that's right. I really don't care about Shijo-san, so I had forgotten. That's kinda fucked up. Simply accepting my mistake, I responded to the air. Hey, what's wrong? It looks like my partner princess has lost her spirit? Seemingly concerned over my absent-mindedness, Tamaki nudged Soka's arm. I dunno. Ever since she came back from home, just taking a bath has been enough to make her go flat like this. She'll be back to normal by tomorrow, though, so don't worry about it. Unconvinced, Tamaki withdrew. Lying in bed, I slowly opened my eyes. The air was cold. The dormitory rooms have no heating, so the winter air by itself is enough to dry the skin. My depressed sigh puffed faintly white. Having passed the autumn in waiting, and having even grown used to it, now it's the middle of winter. With the snow not falling this season, this season has entered its coldest phase. cold inside my heart, cold enough to freeze that only definite warmth. Still in bed, I looked out of the window. No moon floated in the dark heavens, leaving me to think tomorrow would be another dark and gloomy day. Well, if it continues to be this cloudy, then maybe there might be a snow flurry or two. Yeah, that would be just great. If it were bright and sunny, then maybe my mood would change a bit. I don't know. My hair has grown out so much. I scooped up my proud black hair. Just 2 months spent waiting for he who will never return. In just that short time, I became so uneasy I couldn't stand it, and left the estate to return to the dormitory. In November, from school transfer to transfer, not even a full week had passed when I fled to the dormitory. Even so, every weekend I would return to the mansion, and this winter break I went home as well. Of course, this all did nothing but make me more anxious. There were simply too many memories in that mansion. When I heard a sound in the lobby, I would come running, and when at night I felt someone's presence in the corridor, I would fly out of my room. It was always Hisue and Kohaku, of course. The person I wished to see never appeared. Nothing but my imagination. At those times, my thoughts always turned utterly cynical. I remembered it all. I couldn't stand it, so I thought, just once, I would do something utterly unlike my usual self. I turned my gaze to my perfectly cleaned desk. Yesterday, there had been a purple envelope there. That was the sign of my weakness, or if Soka said it, my girlishness. Recently, I seemed to spend every night sighing, as if I wished to expel even a little of the anxiety in my heart. That fear was not that he would never return. The true cause of my anxiety. That someday, this impatient waiting would come to be a normal part of me. That self is what I fear. She's never gonna move on, is she? She's gonna... In the back of her head, she's gonna keep thinking about him. I suppose I should enter into the main story. Yeah? Troubles are troublesome because they give no warning, and in the end, you can prepare no opposition. There are many problems that, should they be left alone, will solve themselves, but many people think it better to solve them quickly. If they will end anyway, then why not finish them sooner? I don't know. That's an opinion I share, and thus I act. However, before that, one more thing. I would like you to keep in mind that to finish off these problems does not mean solving the problem, but simply bringing them to an end. Okay. I don't know why Ahsoka with her hair down caught me so off guard, but okay, that makes more sense now, I guess. Toto, you've got a guest outside. Class is over and just returned to my room. Ahsoka, similarly arrived, told me. A guest? For me? More from yesterday, I think. Can I let her into the room? You know... Hang on. 1 second here. Just gotta pull up an image right quick. Display capture. Am I the only one who sees the similarity here? Hang on, let me move chat. Like, did Soka not look like James from Pokemon? Is it just me? Just me? Okay. Yeah, that's... I don't know. There was just a slight similarity I noticed. Soka opened the door and said okay into the corridor. Hi? I'm assuming you're Shijo-san. Urged on by Soka, a student who just recently had been in the same classroom as me timidly entered. Her name is Shijo Tsukasa. Seat number 9. No club activities. Instead, she's one of the class staff members and an honor student. Please, have a seat. If you've come to me here, then this must be something you couldn't talk about in the classroom, correct? If this should be a long discussion, then shall I pour you some tea? No, I'm fine, thank you. This is a trifling matter, so please do not concern yourself. Is that so? I thought it might be. It was polite to ask once, however, so let us finish this before it becomes such that I am forced to leave my long-awaited tea unenjoyed. That's a bit rude. Hanging her head, Shijo Tsukasa seated herself atop a cushion. Soka sent me a glance like she had something to say, then pulled shut the partitioning curtains and began to change her clothes. Well then, what brings you here, Shijo-san? I bluntly asked. Shijo Tsukasa kept her head down, not raising it a bit. Perhaps she's taking a liking to the carpet design. No, I think she's just timid. Well, I too shall say nothing and wait a little while on her poor tastes. Oh, okay. Thus, wordlessly, we passed exactly 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Tono-san, do you know about the 7 mysteries of this school? Shijo Tsukasa said, as if to pique my interest. I have heard rumors. The broken phone in an empty room of the dormitory, or the balcony of the school building, those sorts of things. Oh yes, and the postal box in the rear courtyard. Yes, that one. Tono-san, do you know about the story of the mailbox? The girl's voice was rough, almost possessed. Though I knew, I shook my head. I see. No, you wouldn't have any interest in those things, would you, Tono-san? Yes, sorry. However, it seems as if they have some sort of meaning to you. Yeah? So your business has to do with the story of this postal box? It would seem so, yeah. Shijo Tsukasa again lowered her head. This time, she did not remain silent, but, head down, began bit by bit to tell her story. It was, in all points, a story of mysteries. Anecdotes that spring from unknown events in this old school's history. Such as an embryo floating in formaldehyde in the specimen room. Such as the voices of the dead heard from broken red telephone. Such as an unaddressed letter being delivered and granting a wish. Okay, I see. That's what her sending, okay. Got it. That's why that blank letter appearing on her desk, she was kind of, like, confused about because she stuck it in that mailbox and it somehow ended up back in her room. Okay. Shijo Tsukasa's story was, among those, one of the relatively quieter ones. One of those 7 mysteries that even now certain students use as a fun diversion. A rather embarrassing story, but this will do as a summary. There are places in the dormitory where the mail is delivered. Remnants from the school's founding, there are mailboxes at either end of each floor, adjacent to the reception desk, in the courtyards. Pretty much walk for a little while and you'll run into one. Among those, the mailbox that is said to be the oldest is the one in the rear courtyard. Why this story ever began, I do not know, but supposedly, using a purple envelope without the sender's name or an addressee on it, put nothing inside but a paper with a single wish written on it, and dropped a letter into that mailbox. Then, should that letter be returned to you, 7 days later, in exchange for something important to you, your wish will be granted. A ghost story fairly typical of this sort of girls' school. I believe I've already mentioned it, but even before Shijo Tsukasa began her explanation, this was a story I knew well. Yeah, 'cause you you tried it out. After finishing her explanation of the 7 mysteries and purple mailboxes and such, Shijo Tsukasa once again fell silent. So in summary, Shijo-san, your letter was returned. Her body jerked. If it were only my problem, it would be complicated enough. But why do I have to deal with this sort of thing again? Tono-san, how did you... Following your story, that could be the only place you were going. Leaving aside the truth or fiction of these 7 mysteries, you cannot say it is not true that your letter was returned. You, Shijo-san, sent such a letter and had it returned. Is this not correct? Whether or not you should believe in these 7 mysteries or not is a different issue, however. The girl cowered and lowered her gaze. It seems as if she truly believes in the story of the purple envelopes. I see. I see. And is this why your behavior has been strange lately? Shijo-san, in the classroom you are a much stronger person. So it may not match your image, but I believe I understand. If you have become this timid, then a number of days must have passed since your letter was returned. Yes, my letter came back 2 days ago. I came back to the dorms on opening day, and when I arrived, there was the purple envelope sitting on top of my desk. I see. Somehow this seems familiar. I muttered inside. Maybe she just thought I was speaking to myself or whatever, but she tilted her head and stared questioningly at me. And then? I don't have the ear of God, so did you just wish someone to listen to— whoops. And then? I don't have the ear of God, so did you just wish someone to listen to your story? For what reason did you come to speak to me, Shijo-san? She just hung her head and seemed unable to speak. I am not that patient a person. Normally, dealing with someone like this would have me yelling already, but this time things are slightly different. Yeah, because she did the same thing you did. Well, I mean, it's not unrelated to me after all, and I have some interest, just for reference, in what my colleague has to say. Right. I'm troubled, is what she finally managed to squeeze from her throat. I never believed in those silly 7 mysteries. That was just a little fun. It was nothing more than a whim that I sent that letter. But then it came back and I'm scared. What if... And there she again dropped her head and looked tearfully up through her lashes at me. If that wish were granted, then it would be inexcusable to you, Tono-san. What did you wish for? You're kind of freaking me out here. What a bare outline of nothing she has to say. Shijo-san, perhaps you could order your thoughts a little more? At this rate, it'll be supper time before you finish. Rude, but... I thought that it would be wonderful if only she disappeared. Just that stupid, meaningless thing is all that I wrote, and yet that it might come true I didn't know. Sheesh, this girl, she finally starts talking, but doesn't listen at all to what I ask. In other words, it's like this. Shijo-san, you returned on opening day and found a purple envelope sitting atop your desk. Previously, before the vacation, you had placed a letter in the mailbox in the rear courtyard. And this letter with neither address nor sender was returned to you. And the inconvenient thing is that this letter's contents were that you wished for a certain someone to disappear. It was just to be a little fun, and then has turned into this problem. Therefore what? I had summarized this far, but could think of no words to continue. Yes, that's right. That's why I thought you might be able to understand. Ah, that sort of thing then. You feel bad leaving things as they are, and you would like to solve the mystery of the letter before the destined 7th day? If that's all it was, then she should have just straight out said so. That way, this topic could have been finished in just a few words, leaving behind this utter waste of... Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why should I need to plunge headlong into solving your confusion? But Tono-san, ever since middle school, people have said you're not scared of these things. And I only have 4 days left, so I thought that maybe it would be alright if I came to talk to you. Again, looking up at me with scared eyes. Is it just my imagination, or is this girl more afraid of me than whatever might happen about this letter? I mean, I feel like it's for good reason. In many ways, this is a truly unflattering conversation. Yeah. Myself, silent and arms crossed. Her, cringing and staring up at me. Another sigh. Doing this will never bring the matter to an end, and more than anything, I am not completely uninvolved. Just 4 days left, she said. On the 7th day after the letter returns, your wish will be granted. That's the most common version, or that's the common version of the story. Following that version, then she, and I as well, will have our wishes granted in 4 more days, and in exchange, lose something valuable. Of course, that's only if these 7 mysteries truly are magical charms of some sort. Alright, then I shall investigate. I believe that this is merely a prank by someone, and if the culprit is found, then you should be able to relax. Please. Shijo Tsukasa rose ghost-like before me. I assume that's supposed to be me, not more. Then turned and sluggishly left the room. She had been depressed when she had entered, but upon exiting, she seemed twice as grim. What's wrong with her? Oh, what is wrong with her? She came and forced me to listen to her. The least she could do is look a little relieved when she leaves. Well, that was a rather unusual story after all. Pulling the curtain aside, Soka stepped out. With nothing but a single sheet of thin cloth between us, I'm sure that my conversation with Shiji Tsukasa passed clearly through. Yeah, for sure, 100%. It's a good thing Hane wasn't here. If she'd been here, there's no telling what strange direction that conversation would have gone. Now that you mention it, that is a godsend. Although, where did that problem child go? She has no club activities, so I'd have expected her to have returned before me. Who knows? Probably she's been given another job to do by the upperclassmen. Ever since she got back to the dorms, she seems to have been buried in work. Didn't she ask you about her tools? She did. Those seniors are truly making good use of Hane. They know her personality won't let her refuse them, and having them take advantage of her is annoying me. I'm going to go retrieve her. Don't bother. There's only 3 months left, so picking a fight with the upperclassmen at this point would be a waste. Hane likes what she does, so there's no reason for you to get officious. I know that. It's just that I cannot stand the rotten personalities of the seniors, and maybe Hane is being deceived into volunteering. Why are you looking at me like that? Nothing. Just that Tono. On the inside, you really are overprotective. To strangers, you're coldness itself, but to your allies, you're excessively soft. Yeah, maybe. That'd be the reason the student council staff was so attached to you during middle school, huh? Almost as you were their beautiful, reliable, older sister figure. Be quiet. That was the most annoying to me, so don't speak of it. Right, annoying, totally. Whoa, sorry. It just slipped out. Right, A mocking laugh spilled out of Soka. Thanks to her, she's made me remember what I wish to forget. Being considered reliable is fine, but I dislike having people become attached. Despite that, I had to deal with all the new middle school staff members tagging along after me, which was quite troublesome. So, you've taken up Shijo's troubles. You said you'll investigate the 7 mysteries, but do you actually have a plan? If I didn't, I would not have gotten involved. However, there was one thing I am stuck on and would like to understand. What are you stuck on? The question is, why would she come to me? It is not as if I've been It is not as if I've ever been particularly close to Shijo-san, after all. I tapped a finger to my lips and stared into space. When I did so, Soka swallowed some words and then gave a short laugh. Shijo made a wish for someone to disappear, so when her letter really came back, she was surprised, right? Causing someone to just disappear due to your own playful wish would leave a bad aftertaste. So the first thing to do would go talk to that person that just might disappear and warn them, right? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Because she did say it would be unfair to you. Wait. You mean in other words? That's right, you. Speechless. The person Shijo wanted to disappear was Tono Akiha. Even so, you took up the cause of explaining one of the 7 mysteries. Just shows you gather anyone to your breast. Yeah. Even if those breasts are flat as a board, were the unbelievable words that Soka added to that, then kept laughing. Wow. Why do everyone in the fucking Tsukihime timeline just has to roast Akiha for her chest? That's so fucked up. How could they do this? When dinner was finished and our bath over, we held our customary tea session. Today's topic of conversation was, without saying, the 7 mysteries. Aww. Okay, that's cute. Akiha's little, you know, I mean, yeah, they're in the same dorm anyway, but like the fact that they stay up and talk and chat and have tea, it's kind of adorable. Too bad we don't get to see what expression Akiha is making. Probably somewhere between grumpy yet content. Maybe. Maybe. It is just superstition. Or that's what. Whoops. Soka stated bluntly the moment I asked, "What do you think of the 7 mysteries?" If that's not true, the 7 mysteries really are true, you know. Busily bustling around working on something, Hanapin refuted Soka's claim. Okay, what proof do you have? Oh? Then Hane, you've seen one of these mysteries yourself? Oh wait, no, never mind. I keep thinking it's Akiha talking when it's Soka. Okay, whatever. No way, So-chan. You know I can't stand scary things. That's why I've never even thought of trying to see something as cursed as one of the 7 mysteries. Relax, Hane. Relax, Hane. Ghosts can only possess someone with intelligence. Whoa! What's so mean? They'd be the ones to run away from someone like you. Really? That's so fucked up! Hooray! This means it's okay to cut through the cemetery on the way home, right? Soka, please stop talking to Hane. This discussion is proceeding in the wrong direction. So it is. I'll be more careful from now on. You two are so mean, always leaving me out. Well, that's fine. After this, even if you beg me, I won't help you, because I'm busy with all this work the teachers gave me. Snip snip went Hanapin's scissors, cutting some colored paper. So all this stuff is class staff work. So what do you think, Tona? You said otherwise to Shijo, but do you believe in these ghost stories? I mean, she wouldn't have tried it herself if she didn't. Or I guess maybe it was at least a shot in the dark. Well, actually no, if anyone's gonna believe in these ghost stories, right, it would be Akiha. Out of anyone in the school, because she is literally part Oni, sort of. So it's like, you know. In truth, I do believe, because I'm one of those people. Yeah. One of those that know that should the proper mechanisms be prepared, curses and charms may be invoked. Yeah. However... absurd. Purple envelopes or whatnot are just exaggerated stories, nothing more. Right. This school has a long history, but this sort of bloody past simply could not have happened. Without even a single ghost having ever appeared, such a thing simply could not be. Ah, how unusual. Soka actually spoke like a girl for a moment there. Oh, I guess I should have used a different voice for that particular line. Whatever. So, Soka, you share the same opinion as me? Of course. Shijo was talking about cats flying in the sky or hearing the voices of dead people. Returning a letter with no return address would be a bother since you don't know who to return it to. But if you can get past the problem, this is a prank anyone could do. That's no mystery or anything at all. So then, tomorrow, when I begin to investigate Shijo Tsukasa in that mailbox, naturally the answer will be revealed. Yeah, totally. For show. Without a doubt, nodded Soka. Hanapin was still objecting. They're true, they really are. And working with her scissors. Right. Yep. Sure, Hanapin. Yep. You believe that. By the way, Hane, what are you making? This? You shouldn't be surprised. I'm making Akiha-chan and So-chan. Ahem. Hanapin proudly puffed out her chest. Well, certainly you could see something vaguely person-shaped in the colored paper pieces she had glued to the board. I mean, yeah, we can't see it, but sure. Then about that, she had written, "This is the student council room" in block letters. Uh-huh. Soka and I wordlessly looked at each other. I don't know who asked Hanapin to do this, but our faculty members must either really like jokes or have something wrong with them, and I'm not certain which is true. Maybe both? It could be both. Again I awoke. My insomnia was back again. At this rate, I might qualify for a record in a book somewhere. Humph. I have my hands full taking care of myself. What a pain, I muttered, when then remembered Soka's words. You're cold to strangers. That is certainly true. I don't know why I'm doing the voice when it's just internal dialogue. I'm just that sort of person. Actually, if he hadn't been there, I would be cold to everyone. I have always had that coldness in me. I thought it was simply impossible that anyone would ever love me. Ooh. But then, when did I start to enjoy being with others and sharing our troubles? I didn't want to be hated. Because I inherited the Tono blood, no matter what I did, I couldn't be like others. Utterly pointless to try. If no matter how I tried to smooth things over I could never be the same, then I would accept my differences and build a wall between us. That's how people like me live. The method we know to protect ourselves. But I never wanted to be hated. That's why I, even my normally cold self, would act like him occasionally. I thought that if I could laugh with others and make others laugh, then at least I would share the same feelings. Thus I began my disguise. But that disguise was more pleasant than I had expected, and before I knew it, I had lost track of what was acting and what was truly me. And before I knew it, I had become this Tono Akiha that others know. I am myself after all. That coldness in me, which I thought was my strength, upon inspection, might actually be rather warm. But even so, that I could ever learn to feel the warmth of others is all because of him. To me, Tono Akiha, he is my irreplaceable other half. Should I ever lose him, I would probably return to the cold, perverse self from long ago that knew no other way to live. That's why, seduced by my own weakness, I sent that letter. I made a purple envelope and left my wish to incubate in that mailbox. But in the end, I couldn't think of it as anything more than a simple prayer, and so I did not write a single word on that paper. The envelope's contents were just a blank sheet of paper. If the 7 mysteries were true, and the curse of purple letter was real, then people must think Tono Akiha to be a truly cold person. When the letter was returned to me, I began to think. An empty wish. Unwilling to ask for anything, yet still bothering to wish, maybe convinced God to return the letter to me as a punishment. How girlish. I combed my fingers through my long, black hair. Just sleep already. I may only manage to doze a little rather than truly sleep, but even that's better than leaving my eyes open. The room creaked. The dry, cold winter air warping the wood of the dormitory. Amongst those noises, I suddenly thought, in exchange for something precious, your wish is granted. The only thing precious to me would be him. if I were to lose him in exchange for having him to return to me? That sort of contradiction would be impossible. Then perhaps what I would lose would be my life. Or perhaps this black hair. After all, in ancient times, didn't they used to say that a woman's hair was her life? For Magi, it's still very much important, so... But I guess you're not a Magi, so I guess it probably doesn't really apply to you, huh? Okay. The morning classes ended uneventfully. Fourth period was an elective period, so the classroom was quiet. The students who remained in this classroom were those studying modern economics and business. Usually these were subjects required of no one but single daughters of large corporations. Usually that is so, but this time the number of participating students, myself included, was up to 10. The remaining 15 people had already moved to the music and cooking classrooms. Ah, it's Akiha-chan. Are you alright? No injuries? Hanapine, who had left for the cooking classroom, returned. She was flapping her hands open and shut unusually energetically. Alright or not, until a few minutes ago we were in class together. Why would you ask such a thing? Well, you see, just a little bit ago in the cooking room, a bunch of people got hurt. A pot went boom and then exploded. Then people were all surprised and bumped their knees or fell down and cut themselves. That seems... strange. I see. Those of us who have never once held a kitchen knife would all of a sudden start to play around with cooking, and thus hurt ourselves as well. Wait a minute, honey. Cut themselves, you said, with a knife? Yup, it was bleeding a lot, too. Shijo-san got taken to the clinic, even. What? Shijo-san cut herself? Yup. It looked painful. Hanapine suddenly looked dark. I'm going to the clinic. Okay, bye. Exactly what she thought of, I don't know. But Hanapine turned and left the classroom. I see. Shijo-san was injured. Muttering, I looked to my own hands. 5 band-aids wrapped around my fingers. Not that it meant anything, but I too had endured constant bruises and cuts ever since I returned to the dormitory. But why though? I mean, I guess with her spacing out, thinking about Shiki, I guess her being clumsy would perhaps happen. Afternoon classes ended, and I at once returned to the dormitory. I had things to look at in the school building, but the first thing to do was to check on that mailbox. Yeah. The dormitory is about a 10-minute walk from the school building. The dorm may be surrounded by a high wall, but since there is a direct path from the school buildings, it may be more proper to think of it as just one part of the campus. Students who enter the Asagami Girls' Academy spend 6 years of their youth in this isolated space. Although myself, who returns to my home every weekend, Soka, who leaves whenever the whim takes her, and Seo, whom, despite her obedient face, regularly breaks curfew and overnights outside, are probably in a special category. Seo is an Akira? I'm surprised she is the type to break curfew. You think she, with her, precognition, she would actively avoid going out and potentially seeing, car wrecks and whatnot. But I guess not. It's gone. The mailbox was not in the courtyard. It was certainly there before winter break, but that old wooden post box was gone without a trace. Any traces of removal? I started investigating the grass, but having been here only once before, I did not even know where the mailbox had been. Searching like this almost makes me wonder if that mailbox ever actually existed to begin with. That's impossible. It was just old that, so old that someone decided to remove it at all. Yeah, I've decided to remove it now, of all times. How convenient. How convenient. Drawing that conclusion, I returned to the school buildings. Yeah, totally nothing weird going on here. No one was in the student council room. Since the break had only just ended, and since no meetings were planned until next week, this was not unexpected. No surprise. If Kogase were here, it would be helpful, but everyone still seems to be recovering from their vacation. Similarly, a first-year student, Kogase is the secretary and had a matchless love of rumors. No one else knew as much of the school gossip as she did. If she were here, then I could finish this quickly, but since she's not, I guess I'll handle this myself. Rather, I would prefer to handle it myself. I don't get along well with that bottle-bottom glasses-wearing machine-gun-shattering girl. It may be logical to ask her, but if I can, I would prefer to solve this without meeting her. And then, click, the doorknob turned. Oh. Hi, Akira.
Tono-senpai.
As soon as she entered the room, the underclassmen began to shiver.
And my, how splendid coming to the council room so soon after the start of the year. Well, let me wish you a happy new year, Sayo. Yes, thank you. A happy new year, Tono-senpai.
The underclassman gave a very energetic response. This girl... Sorry about that. This girl is Sayo Akira. A middle school second year, she is also the treasurer for the student council. She lacks calmness, but she has exceptionally quick thinking and sharp intuition, so while she will never be a mediator, her best hope would be to become someone's advisor. She's a real mood maker, so just having her present can make the meetings proceed smoothly. None of that actually matters, however. There is a rumor that Tono Akiha is quite fond of this underclassman, and I have absolutely no intention of ever denying it. Okay. I had indeed taken a real liking to Sayo's nature, which was somewhat like a small animal begging to be bullied, or perhaps tamed and broken. Sayo, run. Run fast and far.
Tono-senpai? What brings you here today? I, don't believe that any student council activities have started yet. Me? I have something to look up, so I came by. Well, this is quite convenient. I believe this story might be better known among the middle schoolers than the high schoolers. What sort of story, Tono-senpai? You needn't look so eager to flee. This story doesn't really have anything to do with you, so you may as well relax a little. Yes, I will,
said Sayo and stiffened her back. Yeah, I said relax, and she becomes more nervous for some reason. But I'll let that go for now. Probably because she, at least in some ways, senses that you see her as a small animal to be broken and tamed. So she, you know, I don't blame her for being wary.
It is a silly story, however. Seo, are you familiar with the School of Seven Mysteries? Eh? 7 mysteries? Yes, those. Things like the hanging body in the mirror or the moving garden. What I would like to hear about is not one of those grand stories, however, but the mailbox in the rear courtyard. Ah, you mean the one in the story of the purple envelopes?
I had to wonder if she really understood how unimportant this topic was, as her face suddenly shone. I'm always charmed by this girl's cute, animal-like way of showing her every feeling. Just seeing a girl this innocent makes me want to torment her mercilessly. Okay. A swelling tide of sadism that my reason is forced to keep suppressed. Yeah, and you wonder why she's scared of you. Like, okay.
Yes, that mailbox. Are you familiar with that story, Seo? I wonder. I know that it was originally made to receive questionnaires and feedback for the school administration, but how it became one of the school's 7 mysteries, I don't know. So that was something for the school administration. I'm impressed, Seo, that you know such a thing. It's a bit embarrassing, but the truth is that I found out about that when I made to clean up the old storeroom as punishment for breaking some school rules. You know how the dorm's lights out time is so early, right? That early, there was no way I could finish my paper on time. So I was working in one of the bathrooms when a teacher found me.
Happy or embarrassed, Seo smiled widely. Ah, gotta be careful. This one is dangerously cute. Uh-huh.
I see. What you were doing is unimportant, but you got punished. And for the punishment, you were told to sort through the old postal items. Yep, that's right. The teacher I was working with at the time told me all about it. Originally, that mailbox was used for students to make demands on the administration. That's why the sender didn't write their name. Just like you don't write your name on a survey, right? I see. Surveys also need no address, so the letter would consist of nothing but the actual contents. But was there some special meaning to the purple envelopes? Seems like there was. See, these days we take surveys in class, but back then a student would make suggestions to the administration at any time. Since they were delivered to a mailbox, the purple envelopes were there to differentiate them from normal letters. So then any letter with a purple envelope was consigned to the faculty room.
That makes sense. Why that became one of the seven mysteries is still unclear, but at least I know where I should go next.
So then all the letters that have been received should be in storage somewhere. In the library? Yes, that's right. The secondary library, librarian's office. I think they were on the lower shelves on the eastern side. I see your memory is as impressive as always. Thank you, Seo. You have been quite helpful.
See, Akira? Akiha is not that scary. At least not all the time. Thanking Seo, I left the student council chambers. From there, I turned my feet towards the faculty room, and brandishing my powers as a student council member, I acquired a key to the library. The library. It was dusk. Less than an hour remained until the dormitory's curfew. Uneasily little time to begin my investigation, but it should not be insufficient. There were no other people in the secondary library. Originally, this was a school storage room that had been upgraded to a library, so it was unpopular among the students and had few customers.
Although I shouldn't be saying customers here.
Pointlessly muttering, I crossed the library. The librarian's office Sayo had mentioned was in the back. Eastern shelves or not, there were no shelves anywhere else. Ah well, if there had been any other shelves in the room, no one would have been able to take more than a single step into the room. As it was, the room was a bit oblong and about the size where the bed in my room only might fit.
There it is.
Opening the box on the lower shelf, I was presented with a world of purple. With neither sender nor addressee's name, purple envelopes were everywhere.
At quick estimate, there couldn't be fewer than 300 of them. Well, this was a possibility.
Curses, or rather wishes, may dwell within. Meaningless, nothing more than the varied wishes of the masses, here collected and, should they ever be brought to light, would surely produce nothing but regret. But beyond that regret was hope. Ignited by the grating of all these different types of desires, smoldering for long, long years, merely waiting to be seen to burst into flame. However,
in the first place, this school lacks that sort of conflict. With nothing but empty ceremony, nothing ever happens, I guess.
Even so, I perused a number of letters to see if there was some sort of coincidence that might have been considered a curse. Almost an hour later, there was nothing. I let out a sigh. Not only was there nothing explaining the 7 mysteries, there was not a single serious problem at all. It would have been better to avoid researching the truth of the 7 mysteries and to start with attempting to ferret out the culprit that had returned the letters sent by Shijo Tsukasa and Tono Akiha.
Yeah, really. Just what am I doing?
Even though I knew it couldn't be, maybe somewhere in my heart I was expecting this legend to be true. Even if having my wish granted like this would have him come back?
Idiocy.
Pushing off the shelves, I stood, and noticed the sticker attached to the boxes on that shelf.
Scheduled incineration?
Just as written, it seems as if all these unnamed envelopes are scheduled to be taken to the incinerator soon. The outside was stained a pure red.
Oh no, I need to hurry.
I wouldn't make the dormitory curfew in time. Even so, I rushed from the library. Or rather, since I refused to be hurried, it might be more accurate to say that I walked at the same speed as always. True. Fair. Then...
That was surprising.
The books in front of me. In fact, the entire bookshelf had collapsed. A quite unusual event. If I had been rushing, I would have been pinned beneath, I think.
I wonder if you could call this good fortune.
No, this is without a doubt misfortune. These recent few days where my feet have slipped on the stairs, or my fingers have developed mysterious cuts and I've been unable to relax. Is her luck being taken away in exchange for bringing Shiki back? Like... Or is this all a precursor to Tsukasa's wish about having Akiha disappear and it's just building up to her getting killed? That would be... Wait a minute. Nighttime after dinner. A time to enjoy the tea and sweets smuggled into black market routes. Hey, Hane.
How was Shijo-san's injury? It looked painful. From the middle of her middle finger cutting down almost 10 centimeters, you know.
Hanepin still hadn't finished whatever job she'd been given and was working again tonight.
Could you please be a bit more detailed? For example, the length of the wound or the width.
Tono. Length or width or whatever. If it was 10 centimeters deep, that's not a finger anymore. Soka was quite correct. 10 centimeters deep. That would just be straight up through the finger. 10 centimeters is what, like 4 inches, give or take, roughly? Yeah, that's just straight up through your finger. Ugh. I don't even want to imagine what her finger looks like. Soka was quite correct. If you swallow Hanepin's words as given, Shijo Tsukasa would right now be grieving over a 4-fingered hand.
Hane, I am asking seriously here. Eh? I am serious, you know. I got a glance at it, and that was how much it seemed to hurt.
Hane feels the pain of others tenfold, which would mean a 1 centimeter cut. Oh, okay. If it's 1 centimeter, that's more. Okay, that would be more manageable. Still, that's quite deep. Yeah. Not something that can be laughed away as an accident in cooking class. Oh, whoops. That was dialogue, not thought. Whoops.
Yep, it must have hurt a lot. Shijo-san was shivering and muttering, "What should I do? What should I do?" all while she was being bandaged.
That is concerning. Soka and I looked at each other. Ignoring Hanepin, who didn't know about the letter incident with Shijo Tsukasa, well, Soka and I did know. This was nothing more than a tale of a finger cut during cooking class. However, the timing is so bad that, well, I cannot seriously believe this is some connection to the school's 7 mysteries. To her, this must seem more than just a terrible coincidence.
It's alright. Nothing for you to be all concerned over.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I had it backwards.
I understand that, Soka. I just thought that this is a bad timing, that's all. Akiha-chan, you seem kind of depressed. Ah, I know. It's about your brother. Hane, why would you say that?
That was close. I nearly spit out my tea. Hold it. Why are you saying such a thing without any evidence whatsoever?
Eh? But you transferred schools to go be with your brother, right? But then you came back so soon, so I thought you had a fight with your brother.
Not so much a fight, more that he's dead. He's gone.
Wait a moment. Who did you hear that from, Hane? That person.
Hanepin pointed directly at Soka.
Well, I think it's about time for me to go to sleep.
Oh, that's hot. No. Soka began to flee casually towards her bed.
Hold it right there, you babbling woman.
I grabbed the nape of her neck and pulled her back towards me. Soka is one of the shortest students in the school, and barely heavier than a shuttlecock. In a challenge of physical strength, I could easily control her. Ah, what a shame. That you would turn out to be the one saying all the stuff about, that what? God, fuck. Why can't they fucking label who's talking?
Ah, what a shame. That you would turn out to be the one saying all the stuff about Tono Akiha has a brother complex, Soka. Isn't this what they call the traitor within? They're making out.
What? You there, shut up. I flung a slipper at the carefree gallery.
Ouch!
The collapsing gallery. Excellent, a hit.
Well then, Soka, how do you intend to atone for this? Ever since I've returned to school, I've been forced to put up with the suspicions about my relations with my brother from strangers who don't even know him. Do you have even a single millimeter of comprehension as to how irritated I am?
Gripping Soka's arm, I pulled her face close. As if she could sense how serious I was, she gave a rare, twisted expression.
Wait, you misunderstand, Tono. Hane was lonely, so I just tried to give her some comforting words, that's all. It's not like I thought it was interesting to spread it around the school or anything.
Yeah, okay, totally.
The minute you told Hane, it was known throughout the entire school, and you certainly should have understood that
Sorry, Tono.
I didn't think you'd be coming back, so it just slipped out. And the mouth that let something like this slip out, was it this mouth, huh?
Ow, 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 ow.
What are you doing? It's not like you resort to violence in response to an unavoidable accident.
Accident, right.
Where's your usual logical self?
Leave it behind?
Or maybe that's what you stare at out of that window in the forest every night. That's how the rumor that you got that's how the rumor that you got dumped by your brother and came running back here started.
Yeah, sure.
It's indecent.
Right.
Why, Soka? At this moment, I'm just swimming in composure.
I don't agree. The two of us drove strength into our arms. Aikido or whatever. Even if Soka has her strange defensive arts and ghostly footwork, once I've got a grip on her, she's nothing more than a short girl. Normally, she's impossible to catch hold of, but this time I win.
What the? Hey, what the hell?
You can't just put that on screen with no warning, game! In an instant, all the strength left my body, so I didn't miss her opportunity, jerking her arm free and jumping into bed.
Cool down, fool. I admit I'm at fault for telling Hane about your brother. That's my fault. But the reason everyone else keeps talking about you is because you've been constantly dejected.
Red to her ears, Soka shouted, then pulled her curtain shut. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to fix something.
I'm going to vote with Sochan. Akiha-chan, if you don't cheer up a little bit, you'll be very lonely, you know.
Leaving her work unfinished and untidied, Hanepin's also climbed into bed. With the sudden change in atmosphere, somehow I didn't feel like drinking any tea by myself.
I understand. I'll just go to sleep, alright?
Ungracefully, I turned off the lights and climbed into my uncomfortable bed. And as usual, another sleepless night came. To alleviate the boredom, I reviewed all the events of the day and thought back to what happened in the library. The straightforward letters, the collapsing bookshelf, and all the little wounds I've been suffering lately.
It's been becoming bit by bit more serious, but today wouldn't have been something to laugh at. Does she understand? No, she doesn't understand, and that's why it won't stop. Surely this latest incident will merely give her more impetus. I had intended to ignore for a while the minor scratches I'd been receiving, but it seems like I may not be allowed to. How foolish. Why am I playing along with this curse? Probably because I wish to believe it myself. Right now I'm so dejected that I'm almost willing to leave granting that which I desire more than anything else up to fate. It's just as Soka said. I started on a whim, but as things kept happening, I started to get interested. You could call this a type of conflict, I guess. Coincidences roll on, and if you could see from above, those tracks would become a cursed circle. If so, then this timing is bad for which one of us? What the hell is she on about? Like timing? Like why is she getting random cuts on her hand in the middle of the night when she's sleeping? Like, I don't know. I assume things will get put together eventually. But I'm gonna stop there for now though. Because my throat is dying and I'm literally out of water. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, and then I don't know. I wasn't planning to do anything tomorrow, but I'll probably just finish this tomorrow. Like right quick. It'll probably take less than an hour, I would think, or maybe an hour. So yeah, I'll do that. But hang on, save slot. I'll put in slot 10. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you later, and we'll see what the conclusion to this is. Because we still haven't gotten whatever the hint about what happened to Shiki, and the whole, like, again, because these weird things are happening to Akiha, and to Tsukasa too. Tsukasa, like, I don't think Tsukasa stabbing her finger or slicing her finger is coincidence. So there's definitely something going on with, like, the wishes that were made. But we'll see. We'll see what's up with that next time. But yeah. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.